Welcome everybody. Welcome back to the all-new Nightlife show, or what I now call it, the Nightlife show. Before I'm gonna go any further than this, I just want to say this. In my last video, I was originally gonna cancel the all-new Nightlife show, but not really. I know I don't have any change in plans right now, so well, happy spring everybody. And everybody, you know, as you probably know, this past Friday was the first day of spring, but now I'm back in business right now. I've been busy for the last, 3 months of winter because I have been tired of the only thing I can do is, but probably for the winter, the last 3 months of winter would be, it's very cold outside. Friday was the last day with the snowstorm. Well, it's just a brief snow, but that was it. Yep, and it was officially the first day of spring, came in at 6:45. And that was Friday evening, and of course that's now they kicked off the first day of spring. So yeah, in the spring equinox, that's going to be like the first day. So what we're going to do right now is, well, we got to do back into business here, but I hope I'm back. Well, just going to do, before we going to do any further than this, I will be doing videos every once and every month or so, probably one show per month, or maybe 2 shows a month, whatever I'm going to be doing for the next episode. So there's going to be some changes coming in here for the all-new Nightlife show, and it's going to be here for probably 2 episodes per month. That's going to be, or 1 episode per month. That's going to be for a while. So I've been busy doing, writing a story and continued how to illustrate and draw, make my first book and the whole thing. So I had to continue on the second book I'm working on. So I've been a lot of busy. Yeah, it keeps me a lot of busy. So all this time I've been involved with these other books. So I'm just going to tell you, I won't be around probably. We'll be here for a little while because I'm going to do this video so that I will be presenting you to do this program this week. So this is going to be something special for all the people. I hope we're going to thank everybody for the comments and the whole thing. And we left a lot of people who've been enjoying to be enjoyed. And sometimes we're going to be doing something kind of like the future we'll be doing. I'm going to be focused on my life and my personal life, and I hope everybody is going to be work on that. Probably for the next month or 2, I will be doing a video on this thing, so I hope it enjoys that very well. Alright, but anyways, I am also be working on, there was going to be some changes here because I was originally planned to do the 34 Days of Crappy Games 2 on my 4 o'clock game for the month of June and July. Yeah, I had enough videos to make because I only have 34 games. Last year I did well with the 34 Days of Crappy Games, but of course, it's not going to happen. I decided to announce that I'm not going to be doing the 34 Days of Crappy Games 2, because I know I was trying to do a series of bad video games. We're going to do like a once-a-week basis. Maybe we'll do it on a weekly basis. We will do maybe 1 bad game per week. And we're going to have focus on other games because I have not played games in such a long time. So I had decided to play these games. So we're going to push it back a little now that the 34 Days of Crappy Games 2 has been finally canceled. So all the games that was left here, but with the grounded parts of so many bad games that I did with GoAnimate. And there's some bad news to say about GoAnimate that I looked it up on GoAnimate's website. And for those of you who haven't checked out, here's just a couple of changes. Just a little bit of housekeeping here for today. There is actually a pricing here, if you can check. Yes, there's going to be some changes coming in because what happened is Go Premium for the next 14 days. There is some change in the website, but sadly, Go Plus has been expired. I've been under Go Plus because the reason is I am under the Go Plus banner, and this is what I'm going to be working on that. So I've checked all my videos lately because this was under Go Plus. And by the way, this is going to expire by the end of September. I've been on Go Plus for about a year, and I did added the Go Plus for a year since September. And then what happened is there is actually it was now going to be replaced by another one called Go Publish. Yeah, the Go Plus used to be for $58 for 1 year, but as for Go Publish, yeah, you can get for like $39. You know, it's $24 a month, but plus $58 a year. But then this happened. $39 a month. Yep, It's not bad. You can do this for like 1 month, but then what happens? It's gonna cost $300 a year. Oh my gosh. What's wrong with that, GoAnimate? You had to pay like $299 a month, like $300 a month, just for 1 year to do Go Publish. Well, anyways, that's right. Go Plus is going to be gone. Once if this is expired, you will not be using Go Plus anymore. That means Go Publish. That is too expensive to make movies. And there was one plan I can tell you that the 4 o'clock game, the movie, is not going to happen. I'm not sure. If it's going to delay, I'm not sure if movie is going to be delayed or whatever it is. You should check out GoAnimate for schools. There's like $59 a year. That's right, $60 a year. That's going to be there. I'm using under the 1-year teacher plan. So instead of using video, then you can make educational videos or something. You cannot embedded videos to YouTube or whatever. You have to use it with the screen recorder, so you can use it for to make your own videos and put it up there. So it's not going to go anywhere. The 4 o'clock game, the movie, is not going to go anywhere. I just had to tell you that this is what I'm going to be working on that because I have not finished writing a script yet. So it's going to take a little bit forever. It's going to break because these are all the stuff that I previewed for the first time. So I decided to do some more videos. I have to do some busy work on writing a book and do a lot of good stuff. So I can give it a break right now, and I hope everybody is going to be doing something different besides this GoAnimate nonsense. So here you go. I just have to say this, folks. This video that I'm going to show you guys a little bit further ahead. Okay, that's all we got, and enough of this housekeeping. So I'm going to take care of some business right now. Now we're going to present to you today. I'm going to show you my collection that have not been seen before. And as you probably noticed, a few years ago I already covered my VHS collections, my DVD collections, my vinyl collections, my CD collections, or anything like this in the past on my old channel. So now this is a good idea to show you my personal collection. This is the original format that started it all completely. And we're going to be talking about today is what we know as the 8mm home movie collections. These were all nothing but cartoons. Yep, I'm going to be talking a lot about cartoons on 8mm just for this episode. Yeah, as you probably noticed, 8mm was the original format. It started right predating the VCRs or whatever it is before the home video format first started. Back then there was regular 8mm, then there was 16mm. But in movie theaters, they had 35mm that were shown to movie theaters. They were all shown in 35mm film. But then 16mm came to the scene for the home movie use purpose, as well as 8mm, just for the smaller size. There was like the smaller size film. It's like almost the size of the reel-to-reel tape. And there's like one thing to tell you. This is an interesting part of the program that I would like to show you. Next came the standard regular 8mm. Has a pretty nice touch to it, so it works perfectly on older projectors. And then in the 1960s, Kodak introduces to the Super 8 format, which is the similar to the 8mm. It was the Super 8mm. It has it's got more film than that one because it's much thicker. It has less sprocket, has those little tiny sprockets on them. And then, of course, there's actually the personalized, that was Super 8 at the time, until probably the 1980s when Super 8 was kind of seized out. Of course, they're still around doing 8mm Super 8 stuff, but you can get them online. You can go on Amazon or eBay, whatever it is. It's a lot of these stuff you have to get. A regular standard 8mm. I know those of you have not collecting 8mm movies in your whole life, and how many people who have not have 8mm movies in your collection. So I just want to tell you, there were none of them. Yep, none of them have owned 8mm home movies that are in your collection, because back in those days there were a lot of 8mm home movies. Remember your days, like your precious moments, including your family's favorite memories, or like a trip on a vacation, or doing some little stuff on film. yeah, not anymore, but now it's actually into cartoons. Then yeah, this was part of the media. They did this. This was the original format that started back to what it was known as the film format. It actually has a lot of great stuff, but it's pretty nice. It's got some good memories to it because it's a lot of good stuff that has not been seen before, and it has not been seen on any video cassette like this, because not like it's smaller than like a DVD or a Blu-ray, whatever. It's like 5 inches, or a 5-inch reel. Looks like it's covered the whole thing, like the format was this. There was also in any sizes. The 3-inch reels look pretty small. The 5-inch reels are pretty much medium, and the 7-inch reels look like it's big. So this runs into like an hour-long movie, and which is definitely the best one in the whole of the entire format, which I think it comes in very lengthy reels. So enough said. We're going to take you into my room to show you my 8mm home movie collection, because I got about 23 of them, so I got more on these in the very near future, so we'll be on another episode. So there you go, and I hope you all enjoy it, and we'll come right back after we wrap things up. So, enjoy! As you may recall, back in 2009, that James and Mike, as you probably know, that he is now doing the James and Mike Mondays show on Cinemassacre's website every Monday. He talks about 60mm cartoons that he is showing in his house when he was using his projector when he was doing, and talks about 60mm cartoons that he was just watched, like a Bugs Bunny or a Woody Woodpecker or any other cartoons that he was just watched at the time. So that was in the past, the last 6 years. That was 6 years ago. So as of right now, I am an avid movie collector, since I've been covered all the VHS and DVDs and all this kind of stuff in the past. So now it's time for me to unleash my newest collection in this edition, because as you probably know, this was the format that really got started. Here it is. This is my 8mm home movie collections. And for those of you who probably know, if you have not seen or anything for the first time, this is it. This is the one I have. And I also have another version that I have not covered it yet. And of course, there's the these are all some other oddities. These are all 8mm movies that I have here that I acquired it off of eBay. And just to let you know, this is something that I always enjoyed, but I forgot 3 more stuff that I would like to cover in the near future. And I have just 3 Warner Brothers cartoons on 8mm. Yep, these are the ones I already have, because these I acquired it up online. These are the ones I actually bought it online for most of the time, and these are all collectibles now. And before we're gonna do, I want to show you a couple of other stuff that I wanted to talk about today. And we're gonna start things off with we'll start off with the 3-inch reels. These are all on 3-inch formats. It looks like a little toy. Yeah, it looks like it's kind of small, but this is very nice. I want to cover this one in a little bit of an order here. So we're going to start things off with just the first one that is in the box. And here it is. This is the front. It just shows Tweety, Bugs Bunny, Sylvester, Daffy Duck, Porky Pig, and Elmer Fudd. It's on the cover, and that bear, I'm not sure the character is. And these came from a company called the Associated Artists Productions, or AAP for short. And yeah, as you probably know, it was a distributor for its pre-1948 Warner Bros. Cartoons, and later sold to United Artists in 1959. And then they owned most of the distribution, along with the Popeye cartoons that are distributed by the same company. And you can see the front spine. There's the top. It says to open, cut along dotted line. And there's your bottom. And this is the back. I'm gonna go into this in stock number, and you can see what it is. This is A1, and this cartoon is called Tweety Pie. And this was the cartoon that nominated for. It was actually, they won an Oscar for the best short. And this is kind of like the first time that Tweety and Sylvester did appear together, and it appeared in a lot of great cartoons at the time. And and this came out of the DVD release, so I just want to show it to you guys. This is the first time that Tweety and Sylvester appeared in a cartoon together. I watched this cartoon, and it looks pretty interesting, but I always loved and enjoyed that very much. And here's the film. You can tell this is the film. It has Tweety Bird on the label. And you can see on the side, and the back shows the little holes in the reel. And here's you see on the top says Associated Artist Productions on there. And these are all the ones I have. But gotta hold on a second because I think the camera looks like there's film spilled up, so I just want to put this in the reel. Yeah, I know it's got the film is like spilled up. I don't know if they didn't. I don't have a tape clip at the time, so this is pretty nice. And that's the that's Tweety Pie. This next cartoon that I'm going to talk about is another Tweety and Sylvester. This is I Taught a Putty Tat. And yes, this guy, you can see the front, I already showed you the front, the back, and the spine. And you can see here's the film itself. It says Associated Artist Productions, P.O. Box number 2188, Grand Central Station, New York 17, New York. Yeah, it's got a little hole in the center, in the sprocket, a little hole in the center here. This is interesting to watch. This is another great cartoon, but there was one scene that is missing from there. It was the infamous Sylvester dressed as a maid and turned into some sort of a blackface. I remember seeing this cartoon uncut on Channel 9 way back in the day. If I recall this one, yes, it did a little bit of Rochester references, but this version does not have a scene in there. It's missing the part where Sylvester was dressed as a maid and it showed a dynamite in there, but this version was not. But of course, that's Cartoon Network at the time did cut out the scene after that gag when it blew up, and it cuts into the next scene. But that's kind of weird. But I always loved the uncut version. This cartoon was actually featured as part of Bugs Bunny Superstar, and there you go. And then the next one is. Yeah, we covered the same, and you can see here's the back. Next we have another Looney Tune. It's called Buckaroo Bugs, and this was the first Bugs Bunny cartoon in the Looney Tunes entry. Bugs appeared in all of Merry Melodies, but then before it went into the Looney Tune category, and this was the first one. It's called Buckaroo Bugs. This is probably my #1 favorite Bugs Bunny cartoon of all time. I love this cartoon. I always loved enjoying it very much. And yeah, here's the film. I did splice it a few things when I first tried it, and this was my first 8mm cartoon I ever owned. This is interesting. I love this. This is my favorite Bugs Bunny cartoon. I always love enjoying it again and again and again. It was my personal favorite. I love this cartoon, and I always enjoyed this so much. And I have another cartoon that I have, and here's the final one, because I don't have any Looney Tunes shorts to go. So I found another copy. This is a Wild Hare. This is the 8mm home, the entire cartoon. It features the full cartoon itself, and this is the 8mm, and this was released on 8mm, and it was considered as it featured the very first appearance of Bugs Bunny, and this was Bugs Bunny's first cartoon, and this is a United Artists 8mm home movie. You can see front, the spine. The other spine, there's the top, the bottom, there's the top says standard 8mm, but it was plastered with Super 8. It was originally on Super 8, but then you can see the copyright says July 27, 1940. That was the date where the cartoon was released, and this was Bugs Bunny's very first cartoon. And the back, they showed the wrong box, and it originally was Ken Films, I think. They distributed at the time when they sold off all the AAP 8mm, and they sold it to Ken Films. This one, it actually has the Castle Films on the back. And here's the actual film itself. Looks pretty nice. And there you go. That was my Warner Brothers stuff. These are all the Warner Brothers 8mm movies I have. So there's another one I did not cover here, but this is the one I'm trying to look into it, and there's only one Disney one that I have to cover. This is the only Disney 8mm movie I have. This is called Cinderella's Fairy Godmother. I bought this one on eBay probably about back in January or February. And this has the scene from Cinderella. The front, spine, bottom, top, spine, and the back. It didn't show the wrong one. It says 3 Little Pigs. That's instead of the synopsis on it. This was in Super 8. And yeah, I don't have a Super 8 projector yet, so I did not. I tried to manage to put a. I was managed to put a projector on there because what happened is there's a sprocket holes on. It's way too small, as you can see right there. Hold on just a second. Yep, as you can see, there's the. Look at this. There's a sprocket holes on the side. You can tell that's. It's way too small for me, but I do not have a Super 8 projector, so maybe one day I will get a new projector someday, because I would like to start covering all my Super 8 movies that I would like to acquire. Yeah, but the problem that it will not run on a standard 8mm projector. It will not work. It's not fully compatible, but it will. Because I have a Kodak Super Showtime 8 movie projector, and the one problem is it will not run because it's not fully compatible. Yeah, sucks. Maybe one day I'll have to see if I can get more Super 8 movies in the future, along with the other Disney ones. So, there you go. That's the 8mm home movie collections, all the stuff that is not. So, we're going to move it on to another 8mm home movie format that was made by some company. And yep, these are all we have here. Now I'm going to be talking a lot about Castle Films in my home movie collection. As you probably know, Castle Films was one of the most popular companies that existed, that came out in the 30s, and which was founded by a guy named Eugene Castle. If you haven't looked it up, just look online or Google Castle Films, or you can type in their information. And there was a book that came out back in 2004 called Castle Films: A Hobbyist Guide. I always want to recommend, if you have seen this one, I recommend this book, because this is a very nice information of all the Castle Films stuff that were all distributed under the Castle Films label at the time. And yeah, they put out a series of newsreels and even some sports parade, the news parade series, and the whole thing. And these are stuff that was documentary into World War II, and even stuff that was you could see on YouTube. And yeah, there were videos on YouTube about this stuff that was put out by Castle Films. There was, like, on various sites, YouTube, whatever the case may be, had a lot of great videos that he shared, that he posted some of the stuff, like those, the one they covered on the World War II, the one that was covered on the sports stuff. There's a lot of these that look like more educational than ever, but like it's recommended for schools, whatever. And there's another one I would like to show you guys, and these are all the cartoons I have. And you can tell, these are all my comic color collections. These are a whole bunch of these. These are like, I have about 9. I have 9 of these cartoons. These are all comic color. These were made by the guy named Ub Iwerks, the guy who created Mickey Mouse. You know, Ub created Mickey Mouse back in 1928 when he did Steamboat Willie. But yep, you can see Mickey Mouse. His name is on the one of those pictures you see right here. But yeah, as you probably know, Ub Iwerks was the guy who created Mickey Mouse. And he went over. He also created the series what we know as Flip the Frog and Willy Whopper under Ub Iwerks for MGM. After that, he went over to Comicolor for Celebrity Productions, as well as P.A. Powers formed Comicolor in 1933, and it started a whole series of cartoons based on fairy tales inspired and all that stuff, based on nursery rhymes, and even a couple of like fairy tales. It looks like a successor to the Silly Symphonies, I guess. And there's like, you can see there were videos on YouTube where they had bunch of good old Comicolor cartoons. So this time I'm going to be covering these are all Castle Film stuff. So I'm going to go directly by stock number. And then the rest of these will go over to the other Castle Films that are not Ub Iwerks. So we're going to start with the Ub Iwerks ones, but these are ones I got. First we're going to start off with this. This is Aladdin's Lamp. This is a very nice one from Castle Films. The front, there's the spine, the top, the bottom, the other spine. And here's the back. This must be a reissued from the 1940s. This is from the 1950s or 60s, whatever. I forgot the name. Here's the film itself, and you can see it's written on there. It says 1967. I think somebody written on kind of like whiteout or something. As you probably know, the film looks pretty good, but it's nice. I actually uploaded it on our YouTube channel known as Castle Films. There is a YouTube channel I did that about 2 weeks ago. I just uploaded this one because I uploaded a bunch of these on our channel. So if you want to see it, go to our channel that says Castle Films. You can see what I did uploaded on my channel. So this is the version. It was originally issued in Comicolor in 1934, and of course it was distributed by Castle Films but in 1942. And then there's actually there were two different versions of this cartoon that were released, and I don't know why, because there was a caption card on the third slide. It looks exactly, the font looks different, but then and it was kind of updated and followed the same text because originally there was another user on YouTube who uploaded it back a couple of years ago. There was actually, the ending was cut out because that was the original ending was cut when a genie snaps a finger. It goes to black and then the end title appears. Yeah, it's missing the final gag. This version, I believe, has the ending, has the last gag where that merchant fell. It had a bunch of lamps fell into Earth and knocked the merchant out, and that's where it closed off the cartoon. It's very interesting to see what it is, but I watched the cartoon. It looks pretty nice, but looks kind of weird. They put all these inconsistent caption slides that was used in any cartoon. That's silly. I don't know why that doesn't even follow the script very well. If you haven't seen it, go to my other channel. Next, we have another cartoon. It's called Old Mother Hubbard. Originally released in 1935 by Comicolor, part of Comicolor by Ub Iwerks. This version, I think it's from 1942, I believe, but this is a later version, and I have not heard of this. First up, this front spine, the other spine, the top, bottom. This is the back, and yep, same advertisement on this one, but yep. Has the same writing. I think it's somebody put in whiteout. So it's 1967. The film looks pretty good. It's in nice shape, but I always like enjoying this. But I watched it on my projector, and I have not seen it because of the caption slides they used for the first time. This was the first and only Ub Iwerks cartoon to have subtitles. That's weird. I don't know why they put subtitles in a cartoon in Old Mother Hubbard. But just to go back to this thing, so I'm going to give you a little to talk about this. This was the only cartoon that have a more obscure, what we call it, the subtitles. I don't know why. I watched this cartoon, it had subtitles, but instead of that, putting that ridiculous slide they use in some annoying slides they use in one of those Castle Films shorts, didn't follow the script very well. I don't know what is this happening here. Because this is kind of strange. They put those subtitles instead of that dopey title cards. But I don't know what is going on in the 8mm version. But that's strange. But I always enjoyed these cartoons. But there was actually the original cartoon that exists on YouTube. But you have to see it to believe it. If you haven't seen it, go watch the original. But go watch the version. But go watch the Comicolor version. I know if you haven't seen it. Yeah, there were some other versions exist on YouTube. They were featured on any Public Domain VHS tapes. I remember seeing that on a Public Domain VHS tape that I used to have was Herman the Mouse that had there, along with another cartoon, Cobweb Hotel, and Nothing But the Snob. That was actually another cartoon from the Fleischer Studios. And the last came this, but that's strange. I watched this cartoon when I remember last time I had it was on a VHS tape, which was made by some public domain company that was made some obscure public domain stuff. So I don't know, it won't fit there. So Old Mother Hubbard's based on the nursery rhyme. Next we have another cartoon. This is The King's Tailor. It was originally released in 1935 as what was then called The Valiant Tailor. It was originally called Valiant Tailor, and it's another Ub Iwerks short from originally Comicolor, then Castle Films. And here it is: the front, spine, top, bottom. This is the back. It showed the advertisement. It gives you a list of cartoons that are available at the time. And I have many of these in my collection, but there's one I don't have as of right now. This is Jack Frost. There's only Pink Cushion Man, and yep, this is one of the most bizarre animated cartoons they ever used in Comicolor's existence because of this is what happened. Yeah, this cartoon, Pink Cushion Man, was originally called Balloon Land. This cartoon would literally give you nightmares. Yeah, this cartoon gives you nightmares if you have seen Pink Cushion Man. This is the most creepiest short in existence. Yeah, this cartoon gives you nightmares. It's kind of strange. Plus, it's got a couple of these. Includes Little Black Sambo. This was the only cartoon that had this racist theme. I saw this on eBay for a ridiculous amount of money. I know if I had to get it, because the reason why is it was the only Comicolor short that featured some racial stereotypes, and because the cartoon, I know a lot of people think the cartoon was very racist. That's strange because of this, what happened is it was originally shown back in then. It was shown on television in the first place, but it was originally released on VHS, but I'm not sure. It was released in the home probably right up until '69 because of the civil rights movement that forced them to, all these segregation stuff, and that caused them to ban this cartoon, because this is considered a ban for shorts because the reason why is it's because part of the culture. There's Headless Horseman. I do not have one. There's Simple Simon. I don't have it at the moment, so is Dick Whittington's Cat. I need to get 4 more of these sometime in the future to complete the set. This is very nice, and this is one of those Castle Film titles that have this flap. You can see when you can open up. Oh, it's very hard to open. Yep, film is in great condition, and the reels look pretty nice. Yeah, it's very much a pain to get it open, so hold the camera here so I can't. I'm using my camera right now. Yeah, this thing is about to fall off. I know it's kind of a pain to get it back in, so it's very nice. I always want to check it out. I watched this cartoon. It looks pretty nice, but the caption doesn't make sense. But I don't know why it doesn't even seem to follow the whole plot, and the storyline looks kind of strange. That's silly, and I have no idea they put Castle Films was notorious for putting captions on them. And this next cartoon that I would like to show you on my 8mm collection, this is Mary's Little Lamb. Originally released in 1935 by Ub Iwerks for Comicolor. This one is from Castle Films. I know there was a lot of versions existed online because it was featured on numerous public domain tapes. But first there's the front, the spine, the bottom, top. Here's the back. Yep, the box is a little ripped on the back, and you can see some little, tears on the box. And you can see the artwork. As you can tell, it has a neat artwork, but this artwork doesn't look like it was Mary's Little Lamb. I don't know what the heck happened, because somebody put I know this is regardless to the artwork. It looks kind of weird, and they put this has nothing to do with Mary's Little Lamb. I don't know why the character Mary, who wears short skirts, if you've seen this in the short, looks like she has a perverted little girl named Mary, had a short skirt with a little panty shot at the bottom. That's kind of weird in it. Yeah, that's kind of more bizarre. But here's the film. Yeah, I had a pain to get this open, so here's the film. Here's the actual film itself. Looks pretty good. Pretty much. I always enjoyed watching these cartoons, but it looks pretty nice. But there's actually some of the plots that did not mention in the cartoon, but in the original it did not have one. But they added the caption towards the last one. It says it's a blackout, or it says come back you mint sauce. That does never happen in the original. I don't know why they did not. I'm just a little confused. You know, Castle Films was kind of confused to use the script. It doesn't even follow the script very well. I am telling you, this is not the way they did it. So, Mary's Little Lamb was a pretty good cartoon. I always want to recommend check it out. Next we have on the list, this is Sinbad the Sailor. Originally in 1935 for Comicolor by Iworks. It was distributed by Castle Films. It's the front, spine, the top, the bottom. There's the back, same thing. Here's the actual film. Looks pretty good. Yep, this cartoon came out originally in 1935, and it was also, yeah, this was a year before the Popeye the Fleischer Studios made Popeye Meets Sinbad the Sailor was released. It was like a 15-minute short. It was the first of 3 Popeye 15-minute shorts that were made in color, and it was the first Popeye cartoon in color to feature them. It was actually the first Popeye cartoon to be put out in color, which was made in Technicolor around the time, because around 1936. This next is, we have another cartoon. It's called The Big Bad Wolf, originally released in 1936 as when it was originally called Little Boy Blue. And this is the version that I have not seen this, because I've watched this for the first time. It looks kind of weird. I don't know what the problem. I don't know, something's wrong with this thing. There is a version on YouTube has the exact same cartoon. I remember I had this one on a tape when I was like back years ago when they had this on Public Domain tape. It had this along with Summertime, another comic color by Iworks, and Little Broadcast by George Powell as part of a Puppet Tune series. The front, here's the spine, top, bottom. Here's the back. Gives you a little bit of advertisements for all Castle Film titles. Yeah, it's got a whole bunch of Walter Lantz stuff. Little Boy Woodpecker. And here's the actual film. It's very nice. And there was one part in this cartoon, but what happened after I watched this, and I can say, what the heck is this? Because the reason is I watched this cartoon, there was a part he did not say in the original, but then when it got to into the dancing sequence, it shows I know there was a surprise. Every Disney fan would recognize this. It's in the slide. It says, "Who's afraid of the big bad wolf?" That never happened in this cartoon, but that never happened because that was in the Disney. I don't know why, because the reason is Castle Films ripping off a title. I don't know why they borrowed the title "Who's Afraid of the Big Bad Wolf" from. I don't know. It's from the Three Little Pigs. That was a silly symphony released in 1933. It was an Oscar-winning cartoon. But Castle Films nailed it. I don't know what the heck happened. I don't know. Something's wrong with this plot. After watching this cartoon, I go back and rewatch it, and it looks kind of strange. These are like quotes never followed the cartoon. It doesn't even follow the original. I don't know why this is happening. So, yeah, this is kind of a joke, but it's kind of stupid. They put these slides. I don't know what is happening here. Well, anyways, enough said. Let's go to the next one. Here we have this Puss in Boots, originally released in 1934 from Iworks for Comicolor. This version is also from Castle Films. This is a Castle Films release. I don't know what I can tell with this from this box looks exactly like weird. The front, spine, the bottom. Yep, the top was ripped off. So here's the back. Yeah, it's got that giant on there, but I don't know what it has anything to do with this thing, because yep, here's the actual movie. Oh yeah, I know, I got a paint open up. Yep, here's the film. Looks pretty good. I always like these films. I watched this cartoon eventually because it has nothing to do with it. I watched this cartoon for the first time. It looks pretty nice, but there was one big mistake that happened in the second slide. It appears in the second slide that in this cartoon. It only says here, it says there was a mistake. There was an error in the second title card. It says 3 little kittens play tic-tac-toe. And the reason why they should have they added the K next to the it's supposed to say tic-tac-toe. It's T-I-C-T-A-C. It starts with the little 3-letter word, T-I-C-T-A-C-T-O-E. It's tic-tac-toe, not tic-tac-toe. Somebody Castle Films got it wrong this time. It's supposed to say T-I-C-T-A-C-T-O-E. It's tic-tac-toe, not tic-tac-toe. But they spelled it the last K. They misspelled the word with the last K next to the C, and then they missing the letter E. I don't know what is happening with this version, folks. This is hilarious. I don't know what is going on with this version. I know there's a version on YouTube exists on Silent Film Archives. They uploaded a headline version, which kind of sucks. Yeah, if you have seen Sinbad the Sailor, there was a video on YouTube under the name of Record Guy 3434. He uploaded a color version. It was not a black and white version. It was a color version, which has some stupid edits. That's kind of sucks. Yeah, headline edition sucks because I hate it. It runs about 3 minutes. I always prefer the 10-minute version over the I prefer the 10-minute complete edition any day than the headline editions. Those stupid updated, stupid highlighted moments from the cartoon looks stupid. I always want to if you like this, Puss in Boots, this was before, long before DreamWorks did Puss in Boots in 2011. That's it's kind of like a very good CG animated film. You should give this thing a watch. This version, I watched it. It looks stupid, and it was pretty good, but it's halfway decent. It doesn't even follow the plot. Next, we have another cartoon. This is Don Quixote, from originally released in 1934 for Comicolor, distributed in 1945 by Castle Films. So look at that. It looks like it's having a dildo or something. Yeah, it's like a sex toy. This artwork looks like a happy face with a sex toy on it. I don't know, it's a windmill. And they kick the knights out of here. So that's kind of bizarre. It's the front, spine, top, bottom, and here's the back. Looks like the film reel's about to fall off. Well, it's got the Walking Knight or something with the titles that were appeared on these were a couple of titles that were available at the time when it was released. But I just want to let you know. Oh yeah, the box is a little flat, so I just want to. Here it is. But anyways, I've just turned the brightness down a bit because I want to show you the film. Okay, here's the film itself. Yeah, I hate these. Wait, gotta paint to open up this thing. Take a look at the film. It looks fine for the most part, but of course, it's missing the opening titles. Yeah, when I got this a few days ago off eBay, when I bought it in the mail, guess what happened? It's missing the opening titles. The opening titles is gone. Especially the first half of the cartoons are missing. I might as well see if I can try to acquire another copy someday, because I like to see if I can get another copy of Don Quixote sometime. But it's very, very nice. But oh yeah, film is about to spill. But the rest of as for the rest of the cartoon, looks pretty good. But of course, this is not your typical cartoon. But yeah, look what happened. They just broke the cartoon off because that's the beginnings is missing. So I'll see if I can get the right copy someday with the opening titles completely back in. So I hope I can find a copy with just the opening titles intact. I'll have to look it up sometime. Yeah, it's a pretty good watchable movie, but it looks really nice. So I've already saw it once, but anyways, I don't know anything to say about this. Alright. Okay. Next on the list, next we have is a Castle Films release. This is a 8mm version of Jack and the Beanstalk, originally released in 1933 for Comic-Con, and this was the very first Comic-Color cartoon released. Yeah, because they produced a lot of 20s after all the 26 cartoons. This was the very first cartoon which was produced for Comic-Color in 1933, probably around November 1933, according to the date. This version, I think, was made by 1945 by Castle Films. The front, it has a different title card, whatever it says here. Yeah, it has a different logo at the beginning and end titles. Yeah, and yeah, unlike Don Quixote and the Simple Simon cartoon, which I don't have, this one also has the end title that has the copyright 1945 on there, according to the copyrights at the bottom of at the end of the cartoon. Front spine, the other spine, the bottom, the top, and the back. It's a very nice cartoon, but according to what it says, yep, the film itself, here it is. It's in great condition. Yeah, I did put a few splices at the beginning, but yeah, they're causing my projector to cause it, so that's, yeah, the rest of it's not too bad. Yep, doesn't follow, and yep, same problem they did with the slides. You can see with this annoying captions you see throughout the whole, that popped up on the screen. It gives you some sort of like a plot or something that does not follow the whole story or doesn't even follow the script. I'm not really sure they put this thing on the screen because of what happened is this was long after the silent era after it ended because of the Chaplin era. I'm sure that because this was after the days of Charlie Chaplin and all the silent movies, films that took over to the air, but then this is what it was meant to be. Yeah, it's very, very rare to see. Jack and the Beanstalk was pretty good. There you go. And I don't have anything else to say about it. And there you go. These are the ones. These are the Comic-Color ones I covered in my collection. So the next one, we got another. We have more time to show you. I want to show you a couple of other movies that I have in my collection, which is not of iWorks or something. Here's the actual copy of This Is Boy Meets Dog. This is the cartoon that later appeared in a public domain tape that was in, yeah, it was actually, you can see it in color. I'm going to give you a little backstory about Boy Meets Dog. I got this on eBay probably about a week or 2 weeks ago when I got it. I watched it for the first time, and yeah, if you have seen it carefully, this was the 8mm. This is the 8mm version, as you can see here on the bottom. It says Complete Edition. I watched this cartoon for the first time, and I have not seen this before because in my life it was kind of strange to see the first time you'll ever see a caption slide flashed it on the screen. And I don't know what is happening here because I don't know what to say about this. This is kind of like, this was the original cartoon. Originally it was released in 1938 or 39 to be exact, which I know some sources it was 1939. It was originally released for was made for it was originally a 9-minute commercial for a toothpaste which was known as Ipana. There is actually a version with the Ipana plug restored. It's on a YouTube site. Yeah, there is a video posted on YouTube. There is actually a cartoon with the Ipana plug back in. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, go check this out. And there's actually another one another case of example here, because the reason why is there was a part in the scene where it says on the slide, it says, "Oh no, his client is a mental giant." That there was a reference, there was a word that, regardless to say, because let me tell you, let me explain this. There was a scene, there was a part where he says mental giant, and this was before this song, which later sampled it into a rap song. I am not a big fan of rap music at the time. It was thanks to a rap singer named Tech Nine, and number 9 and E, the last words. Yeah, Tech Nine did sample it and made it into a rap song. I don't know why they used this thing and put it into a rap song. I'm not into rap music because I'm not a fan of rap or whatever this is. It's stupid for no reason. I've heard it. I've heard the song. It was a rap song, but I can't stand rap music in general because of this reference, like the words mental giant. It's kind of stupid to hear that song because they sample it and all that. Yeah, they took some of the snippets from a cartoon and made it into a rap song. Actually, like I said, I'm not a fan of rap music. I'm not involved with this. So first up, this is the original copy. First, here's the front, spine, bottom, top, and the back looks exactly the same. I don't know why the front and the backs are the same. Same as the front. I don't know what I don't know what I have to. I don't know when to begin. So. And here's the actual film itself. Behold, fellas. Here it is. This is the film itself. This film ran about 13 minutes long, and I actually never heard of this cartoon before, but this, I have seen it, like I said, I watched it for the first time, and I have noticed that this version, as you've probably seen, this is the 8mm version. There was a video on YouTube under the name of AV Geeks that uploaded a black and white version in black and white. I wish they did this. Okay, but hold on a second, because yeah, the film's about to spill. So let me give you some. All right. Ugh. Boy. All right, here we go. This cartoon looks pretty nice. If there was this version you haven't seen here, ended up on a number of public domain tapes from like in one of those 50 cartoon classics collection or something like this, or like 50 cartoons. In one of those 50 cartoon sets that was on VHS, then later released as part of what they called the Classic 600 Cartoon Collection. It was a 12 DVD set that featured this cartoon. Looks pretty nice, and I don't know what the heck is this. They exist on YouTube. If you have not seen this, just check it out. There's actually a version exists. I'm not sure if there was a black and white version exists. The AV Geeks posted this video at one time, not too long ago, uploaded a black and white version, but there was actually the titles that you can see at the opening and closing titles, and there was one problem they did with this version. It was the opening. It opens with just the opening titles. Yeah, the title sequence you see. This version opened up with the Castle Films logo, both the beginning and end titles. I have not seen the opening and closing titles to this cartoon before in black and white. Yeah, and it goes into that little title card with the credits in Art Deco background. And this version, by the way, in color, but you can see on a VHS copy or any numerous copies exist, it opens with just in the color version of this cartoon, it opens with. Well, I'm sorry, I apologize for this video. I was been rambling around like this cartoon because about this thing. So, like I said before earlier, if you have not seen this, go watch it, especially this, because watch the color version or the black and white version that you're actually discussing about it. But yeah, but once again, to get back to the basics here, the black and white version has different opening titles, but then The color version, it's just completely different. I don't know why it had a different Castle Films logo. Both the opening and closing titles and the credits look different in color. That's stupid. I don't know why the difference between this version, I don't know, the black and white and the color versions look kind of weird. Yeah, this is kind of like out of the ordinary. So just that's I'm not going to be discussing about Boy Meets Dog for this discussion. So anyways, moving on. Next we have another one. This is called Princess Cinderella, or The Return of Cinderella. I don't know what is happening with this. It says that Cinderella lived happily ever after, a sequel to the immortal romance. It's stupid. Front, spines are look at this. The box looks ripped. That's the other spine, the bottom, the top, and the back. Yep, here's the actual film itself. Same thing like the other versions have. I watched this cartoon. It looks weird. I don't know why. I did upload it on YouTube under Castle Films, and guess what? Looks like it doesn't even has nothing to do with Cinderella. That's silly. I don't know why this is happening here. And there you go. I have nothing else to say. Okay, this next one doesn't have a box. And this is an Andy Panda cartoon. And we're gonna cover the Walter Lantz cartoons in the set, but I don't have anything to say about it. And also I don't have any Woody Woodpecker cartoons at the moment yet. So I'm thinking about see if I can find a Woody Woodpecker cartoon someday. I have to find an 8mm version of these Woody Woodpecker cartoons because I love Woody Woodpecker. I used to watch that when I was a kid, back in the day when I used to watch Channel 5. I remember I used to watch that all the time when they ran Woody Woodpecker cartoons, as well as a bunch of Looney Tunes stuff on there. So this one is an Andy Panda cartoon. It's called Mousy Comes Home. It looks pretty nice. I don't have a box for it, so I'll make a label it someday. Then they say this next is another cartoon. A Chilly Willy cartoon is called Some Like It Not. And this cartoon looks, yeah, this cartoon was originally called I'm Cold. That was originally was a Chilly Willy cartoon. This one's called Some Like It Not, which was an 8mm version. And this cartoon was originally called I'm Cold. And that cartoon was released around 1951, I think. 51, 52. And this is a Castle Films release. And the next we're going to cover is some other stuff. We got a couple of more films to go. And here's the Gandy Goose cartoon. We're going to cover the Terry Toons once because I have two more of them. I have nothing to say. If you like Terry Toons, check it out. This is Gandy Goose in Goose Flies High. It's pretty nice if you have not seen this cartoon. Next came another cartoon. It's called Jekyll and Hyde Cat. It's called Mighty Mouse Meets Jekyll and Hyde Cat. I rewatched that one. I've been watching that since then. But I used to watch Mighty Mouse as a kid. I used to watch it. Brings back some memories. I used to watch on television these days, and these were all Terry Toons. This was also the first Castle Films. I'll give you a little story. Castle Films was the first home movie distributor to put out Terry Toon stuff to home movie marketing. And yep, it had a great run from 1938 and right up until probably when they did the whole Terry Toons thing. They put out all of the Terry Toons from 1938 right up until 1953, when Castle Film no longer distributes the Terry Toons library. They sold the other cartoons to the network, which is known as CBS, and also now Viacom owns the whole library. Well, that ends up being Viacom, which they now owns, but owns the whole library. But I don't know what is confusing about Terry Toons, to be exact. That's very nice. I have anything else to say. I miss watching Mighty Mouse and the whole stuff like Heckle and Jekyll. There's a couple of Gandy Goose and Deputy Dog and all the other characters. Yeah, I missed them very much. They were a little underrated, but so far. And the last one I'm going to show you. This one doesn't have a box to it, and you can see the film itself. This is The Night Before Christmas, This is the 8mm version of The Night Before Christmas in its completed form from 1946. And this cartoon, this was not a cartoon, it was a live-action Christmas short, and later ended up on the Public Domain tape. And there's another version that existed on YouTube. And yeah, there was also a sound version existed on YouTube, as well we know today. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a silent cartoon, but it has one of the cartoons that have the subtitles on it to follow the basics of the cartoon. But it looks pretty interesting to watch for the holiday season. There you go. That's all there is. That's all there is to say about it. But these are the ones and that's all I did for my Castle Films 8mm collection. I have nothing else to say. Maybe one of these days I'll buy some more Castle Film stuff on the way very soon. Looks pretty interesting. So I'm gladly I got this in my collection, one of my crown jewels, one of my holy grails of all the 8mm home movies that I have in my Castle Films library. It looks pretty interesting to watch, and I always love it, and it's very nice. I'm glad we always enjoyed it very well. So if you're a collector of all the Castle Films stuff, I always like to recommend all these cartoons. They're very nice. So I had enough to say. That's all. Man, I always want to tell you all about that, but I got nothing else to say about it. But this is very interesting. So tell us what you think of all the Castle Films and how you like your collection. So I'm glad you all enjoy it, and as well as I can. So, and that's putting the end to this show. So let's go back here and wrap things up. Well, I'm back again once again for to wrap things up with the video. Well, there you go. That was all my 8mm home movie to say about it. I have been enough bragging to discuss all about 8mm movies, but I have enough to say about it. But anyways, we'll do more on that in the future, because I will have more 8mm movies in the near future, because I got a lot more to go, because this is very nice. I always want to watch 8mm movies in here, because I enjoyed watching these videos. Before I gotta leave, I just want to tell you all about it. I uploaded a lot of videos on YouTube. These are all from my 8mm movie collection. These were all Castle Films. And if those who have not wondered Castle Films is, you should check out. I made a YouTube channel dedicated to Castle Films. All you got to do is check out YouTube to see if this new channel. I did this the other night. Probably about 2 weeks ago, I created a new YouTube channel. Is called the Castle Films, dedicated to the whole channel. I always uploaded a bunch of these. But if you type in Castle Films, and there's a YouTube channel over here, but it's next door. You can see, there it is. There's Castle Films. I did uploaded a bunch of these videos that I actually uploaded. And these are all the stuff we have for now. These are all came from my 8mm home movie collections. And also, one of these days in the future, I will be doing some new recreations, or something like those new versions of what we know as Castle Films, since it's no longer in business. Since this is what happened after 1977, when it became Universal 8, when it was absorbed, became Universal 8 in 77. That put Castle Films out of business. And of course, maybe one of these days I will do some redoing all the other stuff, but hopefully some of those brand new stuff. It's kind of like a tribute to Castle Films, but hopefully that will be in another future video that I will do it on my other channel. So there you go. I hope everybody enjoys this as well. And before we do, to say, I will be here for a little while, because it's under an hour now, and I hope you all enjoyed it as well. So join us again very soon for another all-new Nightlife show. We got more to come. So now I'm back in the business of writing a story or drawing and the whole thing. So I'm glad to enjoy this as well. So take care of yourself, and of course I'll catch you again soon. And this is Chris, and I will be seeing you again. So thank you for watching, and take care. Bye for now.